All right, hi everyone. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Audrey. I'm just so thankful that you're here. I hope that today's session just, helps you be inspired and get back into creating or painting. I think sometimes we feel really stuck on what to do. So I decided to create these live streams so that it's also a good way for me to kind of show up and be proud of myself for doing that. Oh yeah, Rocket is like sitting right here. Oh, there he goes. I was wondering if he was going to leave. Anyway, so thank you so much for showing up too. And even if you don't paint today, don't be too hard on yourself. I think there are days where, you don't have to. And even if you do create something and it's not perfect or it's not what you wanted it to be, that's okay too. I'll just be really honest. Like during the pandemic, I wasn't doing my live streams during the pandemic, but 2020 was one of my hardest years ever in my entire life, 2020 and 2021. And I probably didn't paint for, 6 months, 7 months. It was a really hard, long time. There were definitely moments and days where I sat at my desk, and at that time, this table was facing the window. And actually, the first iteration, it was a completely different table. Anyway, but it was facing the window, and I could see out into my backyard. And I thought that would be inspirational for me. Look at the trees, look at the animals running by, the flowers popping up, my garden flourishing. But I would spend a lot of time just sitting there and not doing anything. I did show up. I went to my space. It was clean. It was ready, but just nothing came, So anyway, I just felt like I needed to say that because there might be some of you who are watching this today and you're like, that's nice, Audrey. That's nice for you, but to be real, like I've probably been in your shoes, and we're all at different stages of our creative journey, right? So some of us might be past those hard times. Some of us might be in those hard times, and some of us have yet to experience those hard times, And I'm not saying like, you're going to go through those hard times, but take it just as an encouragement that even when those times come, there is there is, you know, that storm will pass. It really will. But sometimes we have to just kind of sit through it. So anyway, I don't know if that resonates with you. If it does, please let me know in the chat or in the comments. And again, as always, if you're catching the replay, I really appreciate it. You know, every minute watched counts. And yeah, just so glad you're here. Okay. Hi, Linda. Hello. Hello. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, so today was actually a fun day for me. I don't know about you guys, but my friend and I, we went to go thrifting. I haven't gone thrifting in such a long time, but I had to go because number one, I really needed to just like purge my closet and like buy some like new finds. And then second, I wanted to buy some things, or at least look for things that I could use for display, because I'm going to be selling at an in-person market in 2 weeks. And I just needed like baskets or bins or drawers, or, you know, just something to kind of, yeah, elevate my space so that it will, you know, showcase my work in the best way possible. So I did find a couple things. I found a table that was only $3. Well, it was 50% off, so it was technically like $6.99. So it was only $3.50. And then I did get a long drawer, which I'm going to use for my washi tape. So I'll definitely, you know, film all of that and share that with you guys. But I'm very, very excited. Yes. Okay. So today I'm going to keep painting with my gouache. I don't know if you guys can see my gouache over here. I couldn't choose the colors ahead of time. I was kind of yeah, it was kind of hard. So I just brought everything. Hi, CJ. Hello. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, you attended my watercolor class at the library last week. Thank you so much for being here. Yay. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to paint some landscapes. So if you didn't catch the last one, I painted this tulip field. It was so much fun. And so I'm just kind of on a journey of learning about gouache, and I wanted to challenge myself by learning how to paint landscapes. So remember how I did all of these paint swatches? Yeah. So I mean, I made them for my acrylic gouache, and then I made all of them for my regular gouache. So I already went through my paint swatches, and then I picked out a couple that I feel like are going to work for today's painting. Oh, you know what? Let me put up the painting real quick. I actually forgot to put it up. So 1 second. But yeah, it's, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, I'm always a little nervous because like, I just don't know like how it's going to turn out. So there's the reference photo. I mean, yeah, it's really beautiful. I'm debating whether or not to paint those little greeneries, you know, up there or down there. But anyway, so I have this and this for the sky. So yeah, kind of, it's not as bright, but I'm hoping that these two mixed together will create that, you know, bright pink in the middle. We'll see if that works out. But that coral color is really pretty. Then I like this dayflower blue for those blue clouds right there. That's really nice. And then, oh, I don't know where my gray color went. I think Rocket may have accidentally knocked it off my table, or I'm not sure where it went. Let me go through my stack here. But I definitely had my gray. It wasn't this gray one. Oh no. Oh, there it is. It was a silver gray color. So I'm thinking of something like this, like in the sandy area. Yeah. And then I forgot to choose a color for the sun. So let me go through my stack real quick and find something for my sun. Let's see. Let's see. I want it to be pretty bright. Let's see. The lemon yellow. Lemon yellows are always pretty bright. So there's that. I feel like it's a little bit too cool though. So maybe just this lemon. No, it's a little too green. Maybe the permanent yellow. Let's see. Ooh, canola yellow. How about that one? Yeah, I think that one will work well, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's going to kind of walk you through my process. So those are my colors. Let's see. Let's put all my swatches away. Oh my goodness. It was so hard trying to find a container for my swatches. Ugh, this was the only thing that kind of worked. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure I thrifted this, but I don't know what it's actually used for. Maybe a candle. I don't know. But it's holding my swatches now. All right, so I do have my palette from last week, but these colors don't really work for today's. So I'm just going to maybe use a little bit of that green if I do end up painting the greenery. Again, I'm not sure. So I'll leave that off to the side. And then I just have a plastic palette. I was going to use my Stay Wet palette, but that one is currently holding on to my, it's holding my acrylic gouache. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with that just yet. So anyway, so I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, let me know in the comments or in the chat just how your weekend was. I'm just gonna chat a little bit while I'm taping. Sorry, I realized that the camera is so far away from me. Let me set up my camera here. All right. Yeah, this weekend was pretty fun too. We had beautiful weather here in Chicago. Yesterday was a little warm, but that's okay. But today was like my perfect kind of weather. It was like 67 degrees, 68 degrees, like just perfect. And then it was breezy. You know, it was like so cool in the morning, like that perfect kind of chill where you just need a light jacket, you know. Oh, it was perfect. I wish every day were like that. But those are the spring days. I know it's not technically summer just yet, but those are the spring days that I definitely miss the most. And I wish we had more of those. Yeah. This washi tape is like not very like, doesn't like always stick. It doesn't like to stick all the time. It's a little stubborn. Like it sticks to the paper okay, but then it doesn't want to, like, yeah. Like the ends are always curling up like that. I don't know why. Anyway, but yeah, thrifting was so good. I found a ton of good stuff, including like clothes and pants even. I really dislike shopping for pants because number one, I'm short and I always end up having to like hem my pants or, you know, they just like fit a little funny on me, you know? But I actually found some pants that I like and they're perfect for like spring and summer because they're like billowy and wide and yeah, so I'm very excited for once. Okay, so I think I'm going to first just kind of sketch like where things are going to go. And I don't always do that because I usually like to keep it kind of loosey-goosey. But I think for this, there are very clear areas. So I'm gonna just sketch. Obviously, I'm gonna have to crop this picture a little bit. So there's where the clouds are going to be. This is where the sand layer is going to go. Okay, and then the sun right there. It's gonna be kind of hard, like going around the sun. I wish I had my masking fluid on me. It's my fault for not planning ahead. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just pop on some music as usual, you guys can always ask me questions in the comments, or in the chat. And if you are curious about anything, please don't be shy. I'll definitely try to answer them as we go along. So wish me luck. I hope this turns out okay. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. everyone. Hello. Hi, Keith. Thanks for joining. Well, here's my landscape. I know it doesn't look quite exactly like the photo, but I'm learning. Yeah, I really am. And actually, I don't mind it. I think I learned a lot about like making these gradients because I have been practicing gradients, but yeah, learning how to make a proper gradient was really important. And then even just like color choices and then making these clouds was really hard, but it was a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and do the tape peel. So yeah, I mean, I still have a lot to learn about gouache, and I'm really really enjoying it. And you know me, like I'm not about like 100% accuracy. Like it's about just just having fun and like learning and like at least using somewhat proper techniques and stuff. But like I actually don't mind like if it's not exactly. Oh no. Anyway, but yeah, I don't really mind if it's not exactly like the photo. I think for me, I've never been about that because that actually causes me way too much stress. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not about that. All right, here we are. Okay, so let me try to actually maybe try to erase that. Let's see if it works. So there's a couple different ways. Obviously, I can activate it with water and then try to like kind of scrub it off. So there it is. I've activated it with water. I'm just trying to like scrub it into the paint. Then I'm just using a paper towel to kind of mop it up. Yeah, it's basically almost gone. The other way I've seen some people do is like if it's really caked on there, or if it's one of those paint colors that has a staining quality, then you can use like even a knife, like like a knife like this, and then just kind of like flake off the pieces of paper. I've never tried that method. I don't know if I would trust myself to do it, but that is another possible way. But I think just trying to activate it with water is your first best effort. And then, you can try other methods. But yeah, I have a little bit of bleeding on this corner, but I'm not gonna cry about it. Yeah, I did decide to add a little bit of greenery. I felt like it needed a little something something. But yeah, the only thing I would change about this is just to kind of brighten up my sky. I think that pale coral could have started out a little bit lighter. So it's just kind of missing that like vibrancy, or not vibrancy, that luminous, yeah. Because my sun is, pretty bright, but then the sky doesn't really reflect that. It looks a little bit duller. So I think with watercolors, it would have definitely come out more luminous because, watercolors is transparent. And so the white of the paper will really kind of shine through. So yeah, just some learnings, but I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, through this one. It's not my favorite, I'll be honest. Like I think I liked my tulip fields a lot more. Oh no, wait, was this the second one I painted or the third? So I actually painted another one afterward. Yeah, I think this is the one that I painted live. Wait, now I'm confused. Yeah, this is the one that I painted live. Sorry, you can't even see it. This is the one that I painted live, and then this one was the one that I painted afterward, just to use up more of the paint. But yeah, I mean, I love both of them, and I learned, different things, and I tried different things. So always try to paint the same thing multiple times. I think like when you watch, YouTube or Instagram tutorials, like you really see them only do it once and it seems perfect because they only do it that one time. But what you don't see behind the scenes is that we actually practice it a lot, in order to be able to do it perfectly when we record it. You know what I mean? So anyway, so always, always, always paint it at least twice, if not 3 times. It's just more for your own benefit, you know? And especially with gouache, you have so much paint left over. I mean, I still have paint left over, even though I used up a little bit of the greens today and the white. And then I have some paint left over in this palette that I squeezed out today. So, you know, use that paint up, paint this again, or paint, you know, whatever you worked on today again, or paint something completely different that kind of helps you relax, like whatever it is, but always paint it again, bottom line. Anyway, oh, thank you, Linda. Oh, thank you, Keith. Always like yours better than the photo. Really like your interpretation. I really appreciate it. CJ, your fine lines details are lovely. I have trouble making very thin lines. Okay, that's a really great point. And actually, can we talk about that for a little bit? So let's see. Part of it is the brush, you know, and especially with gouache, you want to make sure that you use brushes that are, number one, synthetic, and then number two, have a little bit of a bounce. And so I like to use smaller brushes because they don't hold as much water. And so these are round brushes, and just look how pointy those ends are, right? Those tips are. So what I like to do, I'm just going to activate one of these colors just to help me illustrate the point. So, you know, and so one part is making sure that you have the right tool. And then the second part is maybe your, you know, hand placement, brush hold, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just loading my brush with the paint. And so what I like to do is, you know, I hold my I hold my paintbrush, you know, a little bit high up, not all the way up here, but not super close as if I'm writing with a regular pencil. So I'm holding it like right about here, like maybe right above the ferrule, right about there. And I'm gonna have a very light touch. And you also wanna make sure that your brush is not overloaded with paint either, right? So if you see like kind of a glob of water or paint on the brush, you wanna make sure that it's not, not overly saturated. So if that's the case, bring your paper towel, just blot, you know, just really quickly to just kind of remove that excess water or paint. Pro tip, you can actually blot the middle of your brush instead of the tip, so that the color remains, you know, pretty saturated at the tip, but you're removing the excess water that's held in the body of the bristles. So anyway, so sometimes I blot just the tip of the brush. Anyway, so that will help you. And then I use the lightest pressure, maybe even zero pressure, and then just very lightly just kind of glide across the paper, right? So number one, make sure that your brush is not, or you're using the right brush. And then number two, make sure that your brush is not overloaded with paint. And just look how thin those lines are, you know? And it really depends on what brush you're using and the size, right? So if you're painting on a smaller sheet of paper like me, you obviously want to use a smaller brush. This is a round size 2 brush. If you are painting on a large canvas, I mean, you can still use a tiny brush, but you can also use a larger brush. It really depends on, you know, how thin you want your lines to be. So the other tool that I haven't used a lot, but I have demonstrated it. So this is a reservoir liner brush. It looks a little funky because it has the body of a round brush, and then it has another extra bristles up here. So that is the liner brush. So liner brushes are generally very thin. I actually don't have liner brushes. I don't use them all that often, but yeah. So what this does is that the liner brush, this part up here, has, you know, the paint, and then the round brush part is holding the water and the paint, and it's able to kind of, you know, release only a little bit of paint at a time. So this one, it actually creates like very consistent value in your paint. So let me just grab just a little bit more paint just so you can see it. Make sure you have the right consistency. I'm trying to make it a little bit watery just so you can see it a little bit better. I mean, so that the brush can hold on to the paint a little bit more. So I'm really loading up my brush, right? Okay. I am still going to blot the excess. Remember, just in the body of the brush, just blot the excess. And then, yeah, just look how skinny that end is, right? It's even skinnier than that other size 2 round brush. It's using just the tiniest bit. Oh my gosh, these lines are even skinnier than my round size 2. I know it's kind of hard to tell on the screen, but it actually is. It is so thin. So people who do illustrations might really, really enjoy this brush. So again, I do have a video on this brush specifically, and I do a whole demonstration. I do some comparisons, and I show you like how it creates just like very consistent lines, and even the value of the paint is very consistent, right? The color is consistent. And that's actually really important, because once you start running out of water in your paint, then the value shifts. And so that might not be preferred in your illustrations where you want it to be consistent. Like, look how much paint it's holding. I'm able to still keep going, and my lines are still very consistent. It's a little streaky now, but that's because I'm trying to like go faster. I don't know why. But there's still so much paint left on my brush. Yeah, so the lightest touch, lightest hold, very little pressure, you know, like take a look into your tools. Yeah, this is actually just really great exercise too, just to kind of warm up your hand. This is actually very relaxing for me right now as I kind of unwind tonight. I know, CJ, you didn't really ask for a demonstration, but but I think it's a really good point that you make. And, you know, wherever I can, like, I want to offer, you know, helpful tips. So I'm glad this was helpful. Look at this. I'm still going. Like, there's still paint left in my brush. Like, that's just incredible. Okay. Well, thank you again for joining. Let me show it to you on the other side so that I can take a photo for my screenshot. Da-da-da. All right. I'll just kind of unbend it a little bit. There it is. Yeah. I mean, I don't live by the beach, but I could see myself here. So here's another landscape for today. This was from last week. Yeah. And then, you know, I've just been practicing. So just keep practicing, you know, like I know that sometimes progress may be slow and you might feel frustrated. You might feel like, yeah, you might just not even see progress, or you might feel like you're regressing. And that's quite possible too. But I think it's really helpful to have your previous work as reminders, and even just to be in a safe community. So, you know, whether it's with me here in my live streams, or whether it's an online community like on Facebook with another artist, or if it's a local group, you know, just try to find ways to kind of plug yourself in and to see how you can improve in a constructive way, you know, because sometimes when we just sit with ourselves, we're very hard on ourselves, and that's not a good place to be, you know. So yeah, be open, be honest, and be kind to yourself. And yeah, you just never know where it'll take you. So thank you again so much. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, others who joined. If you watch the replay, yeah, let me know in the comments. Put hashtag replay and let me know what you think. Please make sure to like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye-bye.